Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something incredibly fascinating. We're not just going to look at a powerful moral fable, specifically that wildly popular story known as The Poor Farmer and the Arrogant Master. We're actually going to analytically deconstruct it, like taking it apart piece by piece, slide by slide. Why? To figure out exactly why this specific narrative structure just hooks our brains and absolutely refuses to let go. So this isn't just about a good story, it's really about the very architecture of human attention.
Section 1. The ultimate hook. Grabbing attention in 10 seconds. Okay, let's dive into this. To understand how to hold an audience, you really have to look at the very beginning. The first scene spans just the 0 to 10 second mark, and in the world of storytelling, that is absolutely make or break. Right out of the gate, the story doesn't waste time with slow, boring exposition. It tosses us straight into the deep end with the arrogant master aggressively shouting, "What is your worth? You are just a poor farmer." Starting with this immediate, high-stakes verbal assault instantly grabs you. It creates this super uncomfortable power dynamic, and your brain just immediately wants it resolved. You're instantly asking yourself, wait, how is the farmer going to react to this terrible insult?
Well, instead of matching that explosive anger, the farmer gives this incredibly calm, defiant response. "I may be poor today, master, but one who works hard never loses." Guys, this is brilliant writing. In literally 2 lines of dialogue, the narrative perfectly sets up its central thematic conflict. On one side, you have loud, wealthy arrogance. On the other, quiet, hardworking humility. The battle lines are officially drawn.
But it doesn't just rely on snappy dialogue to keep you invested. Right at the end of this 10-second hook, the narrative drops a deliberate, psychological cliffhanger. What happened next changed the master's life. By explicitly telling us a massive transformation is coming, it opens up a huge curiosity loop in your mind. I mean, you simply can't walk away now, because you absolutely need to know exactly how this arrogant master gets his comeuppance.
Section 2. The silent struggle. Building the middle.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens as we move past that initial hook into the 10 to 60 second mark. This is usually where stories lose people, right? But our fable uses this time to build deep emotional tension with a stark visual dichotomy. On the left, we have the master continuously mocking the farmer, claiming his labor is useless. On the right, the farmer is engaged in silent, relentless labor, day and night, right under the watchful eyes of the villagers. The master's constant bullying just makes the farmer's struggle feel so much heavier, and having the villagers there as a sort of jury makes the stakes completely public.
Right in the middle of this grueling phase, the farmer drops his core philosophy. The fruits of hard work may come late, but they definitely come. You know, this isn't just some nice-sounding inspirational quote. It's actually the structural anchor of the entire narrative. It tells us the moral framework of this universe. It gives us hope, and it keeps us intensely rooting for him during this seemingly endless struggle. We're basically just waiting for the universe to prove his philosophy right.
Section 3. The turning point. The results of action.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how systematically the tables turn between the 1 and 3 minute mark. The time for waiting is over. Look at column 1. The farmer, through total dedication, gets the absolute best harvest in the area, commands high prices, and his life completely changes. Now look at column 2. The master's crop is entirely ruined. And not by bad luck or bad weather, but by his own sheer carelessness and arrogance. Actually, scratch that. The tables haven't just turned here. They've completely flipped. The story proves the farmer's right through tangible, undeniable results.
Section 4. An emotional resolution, the reversal of roles.
So, we enter the final scene, running from 3 to 5 minutes. This is the climax. But what makes this story stick with us is that it doesn't resolve with some predictable angry revenge. It's a surprising emotional twist. The master, who is now totally ruined and desperate, approaches the very man he humiliated to beg for help. He says, "Forgive me, I severely underestimated you." The profound shame is just palpable. The guy who once asked the farmer, "What is your worth?" now has to face the fact that his own worth, built purely on wealth and arrogance, has crumbled to dust.
And instead of gloating, instead of mocking the master the way he was mocked, the farmer just smiles and offers this profound response. A person's true identity is not defined by their wealth, but by their deeds. Then he extends his hand. That physical handshake cements the ultimate message. It shows us that true victory isn't just about financial success. It's about maintaining your grace, your character, and your humanity, even toward the people who wronged you.
The story neatly wraps up with this direct final message. Never insult someone assuming they are just poor.
Hard work and honesty always pay off one day. It's a really satisfying bow on the narrative portion of our explainer. But remember, we're not just here for a good story.
Section 5. The anatomy of engagement. Deconstructing the formula. Let's move to and see how this builds from the emotional story straight into the cold, hard analytics provided in the producer's notes.
Yep, the source explicitly credits a specific 3-step narrative formula for keeping skip rates incredibly low and maximizing viewer retention. Step 1, a big hook at the start to stop you in your tracks. Step 2, a prolonged struggle in the middle to really build that empathetic tension. And Step 3, an emotional twist at the end. Forgiveness instead of revenge that leaves you deeply satisfied. People literally do not click away when a story is built this solidly.
Which leaves us with this final thought-provoking question. Does the architecture of a story matter just as much as its moral message? Think about it. The farmer's core philosophy was that patience and hard work yield long-term rewards. Isn't it fascinating that the perfect structure of this narrative demands that exact same patience from us, the audience? It makes us wade through the struggle to experience the reward of that emotional twist. It's just a perfect mirror. I really hope this explainer gave you a fun new lens for the stories you see every day. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll see you in the next one.